Hey there, Michael here. Here's my quick first impression of Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass.
Bloop boop boo. Bloop doop doo. Bloop doop da boo.
Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass was developed by Starseed Games, which is really just one person as far as I can tell, Casey Ozimi. It was published on August 7th, 2018, but it was originally just for Steam. Publisher Electric Airship reached out to me with a review code for the new console version called the Console Enhanced version. The Console Enhanced version was released on February 5th, 2026, so just recently. Aside from, being available on consoles now, this new Console Enhanced version has quality of life improvements and a little bit more content. And I agreed to make some content about the game. It looked like an exciting opportunity. And what I saw from the game press release looked great. The graphics are an obvious homage to the Mother series, especially Earthbound, and I find that charming. Side note, it seems to me that other games that get imitators, to me those imitators don't end up being that good. But for whatever reason, whenever there's an Earthbound imitation, I tend to like it. I mean, Undertale is one of my favorite games of all time. But anyway, moving on. This game is publicized as having horror elements. I normally am a complete wimp when it comes to horror stuff, but I figured I'd try it anyway. I was only planning to stream the first 2 hours of the game. Surely it wouldn't get that bad in that time, right? What I got to during my stream wasn't scary at all, but I definitely noticed that there's some unsettling undertones that are bubbling under there that I can tell that it probably will get a little scary, or at least unsettling, but I'm excited to see more actually. I don't think it's going to be too scary for me. The one thing that makes this game feel very different from Earthbound is Jimmy's transform ability. I love how this is explained as coming from his empathy, and how he can transform into different forms to give him different moves in battle, but also to solve different environment-based puzzles. It's so simple, but it was really satisfying when I discovered that the revolting blob form can go down drains and gratings. The designs are all bright and colorful, and the writing of the game is really witty. Also, the music is legitimately great. I'm really enjoying it. The only two negatives I've found so far: a nitpick with the writing and a nitpick with the dungeons. The writing, though it's very witty, can sometimes drag on for a bit too long. I know sometimes that's on purpose, like when Information Guy shows up and Expo dumps on you and it's supposed to be too long, but I think even for that joke, it's still a little too long. The other negative is a slight nitpick with the dungeons. I like the open-ended nature of the dungeons and how you really have to explore the map to find the way forward, but I do wish there were just a little bit more direction given to help you find the path forward, or the path back to where you were when you got off on a side path. Again, from the second dungeon of the game, when you're going through all the mole tunnels, it seems like the confusion is intentional, but I just wish it were a tiny bit less. And honestly, one of my biggest complaints about Earthbound is that many of the dungeons seem just like tunnels, and they can be a little boring to look at. But Earthbound is still one of my favorite games of all time. Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass fixes the corridor issue handily with its design. The other problem that Earthbound has that Jimmy fixes is with the difficulty. Earthbound can be surprisingly difficult, requiring a lot of grinding. I love that Jimmy has an easy difficulty setting. This is really helpful for me because I don't really have a lot of time to play games anymore, and I want to complete them without having to spend a lot of time grinding. Anyway, thanks again to Electric Airship for the review code. If you want to watch my stream of the game, check the link in the description. Also in the description, links to buy Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass on various consoles. Let me know your thoughts on the game if you've played it. I'm especially interested to hear from anyone who played the original version and then the console enhanced version. I want to hear what's different and what you're thinking of all the changes. Coming up, I think I am going to continue streaming Jimmy and the Pulsating Mass, but I also want to keep streaming Grandia, so I'll be possibly alternating streams on them, and I'll probably keep doing that until I beat one of them. So look forward to more streams if that's your kind of thing, and then most likely a full review of Jimmy once I've beaten it. Thanks so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you liked it, or give it a pity like if you didn't like it. It doesn't hurt. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. We talk about music and video games here mostly, but we review other media as well. And we do mostly retro stuff. We are nearing the finish line on our 1993 material. I'm looking forward to getting to 1994. But even if you're not interested in all of our content, subscribing is a really great way to help the channel. It's fine if you just don't watch everything. Up here is a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Down here is a playlist of other video game reviews. Check those out if you're interested. Most of these other video game reviews are going to be a bit more detailed than this one. Thanks for watching, and maintain your groovy selves.